Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Today's like December 18th or something like that, probably. Christmas is a week away. So I gotta start out with first, I gotta apologize to Mark, because I told him I'd give him a shout out in the last video for sending me a North Carolina license plate. So big shout out to Mark. Thanks a lot, bud. I've already had it hanging on the wall. It was in there in the last video. I just forgot to do the shout out. So I apologize for that. But second, I got to do a shout out to Mike. Mike sent me a letter all the way from Florida, and it reads, "Dear Kenny, how are you doing? It's me, GMC Cracker Box Truck." So he's commented on a lot of my videos, and him and I have been talking back and forth a lot through email. But it says, "I wanted to thank you for all the knowledge and advice you've taught me on antique tractors and helped me on deciding what antique tractor I should get. I'm most likely going to get a John Deere B, since you've told me how easy they are to work on and how common they are. I'm wanting to get the B where you have to start it manually by hand on the flywheel. My backup plan is, in case it doesn't work out, I'm going to get a case VAC. They're cheap and common. I'm still trying to figure out on what to get you, but I'll have to get you a little gift before Christmas." Hey guys, if you guys want to send me stuff, I'm all for it, but I don't want you guys to think that, you know, I'm asking for anything, because I just do these videos for fun and just because. But hey, if you guys want to send me stuff, cool. I always try to send at least a thank you card or something back to you just to show my appreciation. And everything that I've been sent is either hanging on the wall. I've got all my letters in a folder, and all the tools that people have sent me I've also used, and magazines and all kinds of stuff. It's really helped me learn a lot about a lot of stuff. So anyhow, as always, keep the videos going, and they keep getting better and better. I'll never get tired of watching the farmalls you revived from the dead, and I'll soon post videos of my cub. So be looking out for those videos. GMC Cracker Box Truck. He's got a cub lowboy. So look out for those, and I'm glad I could help you in your decision on getting further and further into this disease or hobby. So anyways, I'm going to put this stuff on the wall quick, and I don't want to get it full of carb cleaner. So that's back on the wall. But without further ado, I'll kind of explain to you what I'm going to do here. I've had this carb soaking, I've had this carb soaking in here for, at least a week. So whenever I made that last video, and this stuff is getting pretty black, but essentially I'm going to take it out of there, spray it down with carbon choke cleaner, and then I'll use let me get them out here. I should have planned this out better. Get my little files for the gas welding tips, and I'll clean out the passages, or poke around in the passages to try to get anything extra loosened up, and then I'll blow it out with the air compressor. And from there, I'm going to take it upstairs. I won't tell my fiance. I'm going to take it upstairs, and I'm going to boil it half and half with simple green and water in this kettle. So I'll probably boil it for 20 minutes to a half hour, and then I'll bring it back down here, spray it off again with carb cleaner, and then probably coat it with some type of lubricant. Let me think here. Maybe I'll just spray it down with some, I got some PB Blaster left. But I got to do one more shout out. I've got a benchtop drill press. My buddy Domino, most of you remember him, asked me if I wanted that because he was given another one. So absolutely, it's just another tool for the future pole barn. So let's go ahead and pull this. Got my makeshift table here, but we'll pull this carburetor out and see, I kind of got it wedged down in there. Let me set the camera down so I don't get it splashed with a bunch of crap. Try to figure out the best way to get it out. I got it in there, I just can't get it out now. I'm gonna have to change out my gloves here, I think. Too much crap on them. These F20 carbs are kind of a little different animal, and they use them on a lot of different tractors. They're a Zenith K5 carburetor. But let me move this camera up here so that when I spray it off, there, I hope you guys can kind of see what's going on here, but well, that one's pretty much done. Woo. I was afraid that was going to happen. All right, let me get my welding tips out here. I'm just going to do a little poking around, see what I can. Essentially, I'm just trying to find all the passages that I can. And then just poke around. Now, there is a passage in a couple of these spots. Let me see if I can find it here. On the economizer end, there's a couple of passages in here, but you really can't get into them because I think the holes go this way and not at an angle. So I'm just going to have to do the best that I can in cleaning them out. So alright, let's soak it down one more time. And then grab my hose here and I might have to soak this in paint thinner here. Seems like there's a lot of, remember I clear coated these things when I put them back together, so it seems like there's a lot of clear coat that's still left on here. Well, I think I'm going to have to soak this for a little bit in some paint thinner because it's still got quite a bit of clear coat on it. So let me do that and I'll get back with you. Alright guys, well, we got all that clear coated spray paint stripped off. I sprayed it all down again with carb cleaner, blew it all out. Got everything pretty much down to raw metal, and I've got about 75% water, 25% simple green. Got it on the stove here boiling. And the reason I use simple green is because it doesn't have any harmful vapors. There's a lot of other industrial degreasers out there, but simple green doesn't have the harmful vapors, so that's why I use that. But just gonna kind of get these things down in there, and I'm probably gonna have to add a little bit more water here. Looks like I can't quite get that choke body in there, so I'm gonna have to set the camera down here and add some more water. Alright, well, we're bringing this to a boil, and then we'll let it boil for probably 20 minutes to a half hour, and that'll be it. And we'll be able to put the carb back together after we rinse it with cold water. So let's get that done. Okay guys, well, we got everything boiled out, and I sprayed it all down again with carb cleaner. Oh, we got the dogs coming. So this is kind of what the finished product looks like. You know, it's pretty clean. No greasy residue on it. Kind of scrubbed it all when I rinsed it with cold water. But hopefully we should be let me let the dogs out on the deck here. Hopefully we should be running a little bit better. I know part of the issues we were having before was with the governor, so, but I just want to take a look here. Kind of looking through all my spare parts to make sure I got everything. And I did go to Fastenal and I picked up a couple of, I don't know if you can really see that, but it's a 3/32 by 1/2 inch roll pin, and that's going to be for the throttle shaft. It has the economizer valve on it, so we'll put that on. And then it's got this little, I don't know what it's called, but it's a little, we'll call it a doohickey, and that goes on the end of it as well. But I'll kind of go through that here as I assemble it. So first things first, we got to get, well, I guess we could start with that. Start with the throttle body. Now there's a lot of little plugs and everything in here, so I just got to figure out where we're at. So got the main inlet, or the main jet needle and seat. That's going to go in here with a gasket. Let's see, oh. And this stuff just gets snugged up, so it doesn't have to be overly tight. And then from there, we'll wait to put the float in I got to remember how this all goes back together now. So there's a couple of different things here. I don't think, before we put that in, I'm going to say this one goes down here. Got to get the right screwdrivers. Okay. So let the dogs back in. So the throttle shaft, I don't know if you guys can see this, but a lot of people get these confused on the F20s, the H's, and the M's. This little notch right here, there's a tab that comes off the governor rod, and that has to go inside that notch when you put the carburetor back together with the governor tube. If you get it outside that notch, it's not going to operate correctly. It'll either be at idle all the time, or it'll be wide open all the time. It won't have any control over this throttle shaft. So make sure you get that tab lined up inside there. And I did already replace the bushings in this before when I rebuilt it. Right now it's just a matter of getting everything cleaned out so we can get it to run a little bit better. Sometimes it takes a couple tries with these old things to get everything working properly. So there's only one way that this throttle plate goes in, so there we go. All right. Gotta grab the right screwdrivers here. So that's that. Now these economizer valves, where did I put it? Right here. These economizer valves, there's a slot. It works as a bushing and as a valve. So this slot has to go in facing down because there's two little passages at 45s on each side of this throttle shaft. So it has to be able to rotate in order to let those passages work properly. So get it in there just right here. Too far. Let me see if I can. getting this hole lined up is going to be the trickiest part. And I think I'm going to use this vice grip to kind of press the spring pin in place. So just got to get it started here. Not easy. It's definitely not easy. Everything's so teeny tiny. So well, let me take a break here. All right. Well, after a little bit of tedious work, we've got the pins in place. So there's one pin that goes in there, and then the other pin goes through here, if you can see that. So this whole assembly will turn with the throttle shaft. Make sense? All right, let's keep moving here. You gotta try and remember which one goes where. So I don't believe that one goes there. I think this one goes here, if I remember correctly. Yep. So that one goes there. This is our idle speed screw. And the way I always set these is I'll just tighten them up just until I can feel that throttle plate moving. I'll keep my finger inside here and tighten the idle speed screw just to the point where I can feel it open up. So right there. That way I know it's making contact. So okay, that's that. Now we have to put the economizer valve cover on with the gasket. I was kind of hoping to get this back on today and test run it. It's a little a little bit warmer out, but I don't know if that's going to happen because the sunlight is fading as we speak. So there we go. Got our economizer cap on. Idle screw in. We got this plug in for that circuit. Let's see here. I think this is our idle mixture screw. If I remember correctly, I have the instructions still here from the carburetor kit. Let's see where they want that set. One full turn. So it's in all the way until lightly seated. Half a turn. One full turn. That's the preliminary on that. And what are we at for... one full turn on the main jet as well. So when we get to that, we will do that. So let's get the what am I looking for here? Needle, float, and float pin. I gotta spread apart the jaws for the float. There we go. So there's that. Got the gasket here. There's that. And I gotta get the nozzle in here. Do that before I put the gasket on. Now this nozzle, the way I do it is I take a deep well socket, because I don't have a wrench that fits. It's an odd size. It's 9/32. I don't have that wrench. And then I take a needle nose vice grip, if I can find it here, and I just snug it. You don't want to over tighten these things, so snug it just enough. That's plenty. So we got that in. Got our gasket on. We should probably double check this float height though. I keep going back and forth. Keep going back and forth here. One and 49/64. Okay. Plus or minus the 16th. Well, let me grab a tape measure. I will be right back. Alright, we've got the floats set. I got them at about 1 and just shy of 1 7/8, so that should be about right. So let's see here. This is always kind of the toughest one, is to get down in here. So let's see if I can. Nope, that didn't work. That did not work. Need a longer screwdriver. Okay, that one's in. This one here is the bowl drain. There's that. And we've got our main jet's got to go down inside here. So it's kind of, I should probably show you that. It's kind of goofy how this works. So this main jet goes into the large main needle opening, or the, I should say the load needle for the behind this. So but it's not the easiest to get into place, as you can see. There we go. And there is a gasket behind there, so don't forget to put that in. You need the biggest screwdriver you can find. Okay, there's that. And then we put in, now this is also a 3-piece needle, adjustment needle. You've got your main collar, and then there's a central collar, and then your needle. And behind that central collar there's some packing. So I always like to just snug it up when I put it inside the main collar. Not over tighten, because then you won't be able to adjust this main needle, or the load needle I should say. So snug that one up, and then we're going to screw the main needle in until it's seated, lightly seated, and then back it off one turn. So right there, we're at a half, and we're at 1. So we should be fairly good on that one. Now we can bolt the bowl to the throttle body. Be careful not to damage that that nozzle. I think this is going to be hopefully this thing runs a lot better, so won't be flooding out, I hope, with that leaky float that we had in there. So we're just going to snug them up, and then we'll go around and give them a final tighten. Just like that. Ah, shoot, you know what we forgot? The Venturi. And I'm sure a lot of you are probably thinking, there's no Venturi. Why didn't you say something? Oh well. Wouldn't be the first time I made a mistake, huh? It's okay, it's a learning experience, right? I'm sure that would have ran really good without a Venturi. Yeah, really, really well. Well, we did go and look at a couple houses on well, about a week and a half ago, and they were, one needed some work. Well, they both needed a little work, but the one had a very nice shop, and the other was more of a bare bones type shop. But let's see, I think it's gonna go this way. Yep. And this is gonna go, now there's a passage here that this notch has to line up with. So you just got to make sure you're putting it in there correctly, and we're good to go there. So before I bolt it back together. Let me give this float pin a crimp. Double check my measurement here. Yep. Okay. Let's try this again. Snug everything up. All right. So we can hear the float moving freely in there. We can see the venturi. Perfect. That's that part of the carburetor. Now, I kind of made my own overflow on this, so I wanted to take it apart and show you what I did. I took and I used just some packing, some cotton packing, and used a compression fitting, right? And just tighten it down in there. And the cotton packing is just so that you know, little insects or dirt or anything like that, so none of that gets in there. But I wanted to trim some of it out because I don't think it's working properly, so just gonna trim it because it's basically to ensure that nothing gets in there. Heck, I might even It's like a small filter, really. So it's just got this little weep hole in case the carb overflows. So I'll put that back in there, and actually I wonder, nah. You know, it's not exactly correct, but it works. So it just looks like that. Just so gas can overflow and drain out the bottom if it needs to. But we got that. Just gotta try to remember which way this thing goes together here. It was like this. So that's that. Just like that. Alright, now we just got to put the fuel inlet on and we're good to go. So this is going to go towards the front of the tractor. That means the fuel inlet's going to face this way. I have to try to come up with a way to stabilize this here. Tighten the adapter down. Should be good to go. Alright, well, I don't think we're going to get it back on the tractor today, and maybe tomorrow during the day sometime we'll go do it, but hopefully this thing should be running a lot better now. There you have it. There's the K5 carburetor, the Zenith K5. If I didn't forget so many things, I would have probably had it done a lot sooner, but as always, thanks for watching, thanks for wrenching with me, and stay tuned for the bolt-on of this, and then the video coming up that's going to have maybe some more surprises in it. So hopefully within the next week and a half or so, we'll bring that video to you. Alright? Talk to you later. Merry Christmas, and be safe.